there are many marriage traditions in which women marry for security out of economic preposition, but Elizabeth wants to break free from all of that and marries for love.
Hi readers, welcome back to Pojok Buku, and in this episode, which is episode 7, I am not alone. I'm your host Ibu Santa, is joined by a special guest, Natalie. Hi Natalie.
Hi Ibu, and hi Pojok Buku viewers!
So how are you doing today?
Of course, I'm very excited to tell you all my thoughts regarding the very interesting book, which is Pride and Prejudice.
Alright, yes, in today's discussion, we're going to dive deep into the world of literature because we're going to review the timeless classic from Jane Austen, which is Pride and Prejudice. Well, before we hear some reviews about this novel from Natalie, let me give a very brief overview on this book. So this novel is set in the early 19th century in England. It follows the story of a woman called Elizabeth Bennet, which is the second eldest of 5 sisters from the rural English countryside. So, Natalie, I am just so excited and so thrilled to have you here. Would you mind to share the themes of this novel to our readers at home?
Of course. So, this very book, the classic of Jane Austen, it gives such an eye-opening view of family, love, social traditions, and of course, Pride and Prejudice between the romantic clash of the daring Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy,
which is my favorite.
Yeah.
Alright then, among all the characters, do you have a favorite character or maybe one or two that you look up to?
Oh. Of course, there are so many characters that I admire as their character traits are very well written by Jane Austen. First off, I have the eldest sister of the Bennet sisters, which is Jane. Jane sees the world in a positive lens as she is admirable, she is patient, she has a tendency to look for the good in everyone, as quoted by her sister Elizabeth during their sayings, which is all is nice and agreeable through Jane's eyes. And second, our female heroine, the female empowerment character, which is, of course, Elizabeth Bennet. She is very daring, she is brave, she is opinionated, but also she stays true to herself. She is full of wit and breaks off social conventions, such as during the time in the Regency era in England, there are many marriage traditions in which women marry for security out of economic preposition, but Elizabeth wants to break free from all of that and marries for love. Yeah.
Wow, beautifully said. Thank you, Natalie. Now let's talk about the romantic relationship between Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy. So how is Pride and Prejudice different from other classics such as Romeo and Juliet? Why it's different and unique?
So, of course, one is a Shakespeare classic and one is a Jane Austen classic. Actually, when I first read this book, I actually thought of the romance classic, which is Romeo and Juliet. They are both star-crossed lovers. They both love each other very dearly, but the families are of course against their love story, so it ends up tragically. But on the other hand, the love story between Elizabeth Bennet and Fitzwilliam Darcy is in contrast. First off, because one had given a very bad impression of the other, so they actually hated both. They hated each other and hated each other's guts. But as time goes by, their love also grows by, and they began to know each other and love each other, and reflected of their bad personalities. One is a tragic love story and one resulted in a happy ending. But some also suggested that what Romeo had felt for Juliet was actually a superficial love. But what Mr. Darcy had felt for the female heroine, which is
Elizabeth Bennet.
Bennett, is out of her personality because she's full of wit and she stayed true to herself. As the famous sayings has gone by, you have bewitched my body and soul. Oh.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is my favorite part of the book. So Jane Austen's writing style is known for its social commentary. And what can we learn about how people treating each other in this Pride and Prejudice novel?
Okay, so what can we infer from the title, which is Pride and Prejudice? These are the two things that actually affects the way and influences the way that we see other people. So first off, what is prejudice? Prejudice is actually a preconceived notion or some sort of bias that we have of other people. This sort of bias is clouding our judgment when we see their looks or certain stereotypes that people have put around them. From the book, the presence of social class and reputation is very noticeable. As we can see, Mr. Darcy have a lot of pride because he is rich, and Elizabeth has a prejudice of Mr. Darcy because of that fact as well. And in our daily lives as human beings, we tend to have first impressions about other people. When we first see them, there's an impression that appears in our head. And to be honest, we should look beyond their physical appearance or their backgrounds and try to be more understanding. And of course, appreciate people the way that they are.
Wow, beautifully said, Natalie.
Yeah.
Now let's hear your personal takeaway from this novel.
Okay, so close things off, I have two main takeaways that I have thought about when reading the book. It is a long but entertaining journey to read this very interesting book. So first off, we should engage and have more of empathy and curiosity before going straight into judgment. In our everyday lives in society, there are some people that may say some certain things or look some certain way. They all have their own preferences and their uniqueness that makes them human. But when it goes against the unacceptable societal norms, some people are very quick to judge and call them out, when we all should be more open and be more mindful and be more humble towards what other people are. They have their own unique preferences, and who are we to judge for their own preferences? It is all true to their own.
Alright, so you have learned that we shouldn't judge others that
Yes.
easily just because they do not fit to the societal expectation.
Yes.
Because everyone's unique.
Everyone's different, everyone's unique, so stay true to yourself. And second one is that seeing the good in other people, like that meme and what Jane are. The meme said that when we are sitting on the bus, there are two perspectives and views that we can see, and it applies to a human. We have many sides to us, as we are human, of course. We are multifaceted and we are multidimensional, and there are good and bad side of us. And we should always seek to see the good in other people. Give other people second chances, and remember that it's actually everyone's first time living this life. We are on this earth for a first time, so we have trials and errors. We are not all good at the start, but we must all be humble and let go of our pride and prejudice. And we are all human after all.
Wow, that is such an important point
Yes.
to describe this novel, because Elizabeth and Darcy at first they start as enemies because their own pride and
Yes.
prejudice, but at the end, as they have their own self-reflection and
Yes.
understanding toward each other, they can see the good, the worth on each other,
Yes.
and eventually they fall in love.
Yeah, they fall in love.
And their relationship is built not solely on passion but also personal growth.
Yes.
As time goes.
The key is also the growth. We are all growing, right?
That's
Yes.
right. Now, readers, that concludes our discussion for this episode. It's such an exciting discussion. Thank you, Natalie.
Yes.
So, readers, keep reading, keep exploring. Until next time. Bye, readers.
Bye, leaders!